Revenant Act I story. Fikrul returns with a new dark army of Eliksni prisoners. Eramis is captured on Europa and assists us now within the city. The Helm crashlands and we get some pretty epic revelations like the curse of Nezarec and Mithrax. Welcome Guardians, let's discuss Act I story. Before we jump in, I want to mention a couple of things. First of all, the entire Act I is out today, so there's no time gate over 3 weeks like Echo's had. The fans were asking for this, so now you have it if you wish. In this video, I'll recap the main story. You have the option to play through this at your own pace if you like, but if you like a recap of what's going on, the important moments, dialogue, and cutscenes, this is the video for you. We first begin with a brand new cutscene where Crow explains the situation. Fikrul is raising a new dark army of Scorn, and we need to figure out how and why this is happening. The first mission takes us to Europa, where we find out that Fikrul is converting Eliksni into this new Scorn army. Now Scorn are usually created from dead creatures like Dead Fallen, but Fikrul's new Scorn are created from living beings using the power of the Echo and the Light. Along the way we find Eramis fighting alongside us, and in an exchange for the safety of her people, she allows us to take her into the city. Here's a look at that cutscene and important dialogue from that mission.
The city gave our Eliksni allies a new home. But tensions between humanity and the Eliksni can still run high. Mithrax, the leader of House Light, is keeping to himself, worrying his people. His daughter Ido has 4 sharp eyes on him. But something's off. Things aren't going so well for Eliksni outside the city either. We just got a distress call from Europa. Eliksni non-combatants in Eramis' old crew are under attack. A new species of Scorn are hunting Eliksni across the system. These Scorn are corrupted Eliksni, returned from death by their leader Fikrul. And Fikrul was created by the person I used to be. I've got a personal stake in rectifying the situation. But as the new Hunter Vanguard, it's more than that. It's my duty.
Eyes up, Guardian. We're responding to a distress call from House Salvation civilians. They wouldn't ask us for help if it wasn't dire, so let's use our leverage wisely. This is a humanitarian mission, so hold fire on all Eliksni targets. Good luck. The hidden report that Eramis is on site. Your orders are to take her alive. Now, I know she's caused a lot of damage, but killing her will only harden anti-human sentiment. I'm not turning my first op as Hunter Vanguard into a bloodbath. This is bizarre, Guardian. It's not an attack, it's a roundup. But new Scorn only come from dead Eliksni. So why do they want the prisoners alive? House Salvation ships are bailing for Earth, and the Helm just arrived to take on stragglers. There's a lot of reasonable distrust of Eramis' people, but I'm taking the long view. I want to prove that hunters can build bridges, not just blow them up. There's something different about these Scorn. The freed civvies keep referring to them as Naviskirisk. Xenobiological analysis is in. These Scorn are made of living tissue, Guardian, not necrotic like normal. Naviskirisk. Fikrul must have found a new source of power. Something paracausal.
Stand before me if you dare! I'll send you back to the crypt again and again!
Since Father Aldred, Scorn were born dead. Great machine for humans only. No more. Either blessed with light, power to make light.
never bow. Not to the Scorn, and not to the Vanguard.
Eramis is getting away, Guardian. Chase her down. Damn. Fikrul got his hands on an echo. He's using it to mutate the ether of living Eliksni. That explains this new breed of Scorn and why he wants the captives alive. For now, let's keep our eyes on the prize. Eramis is cornered. I'm coming down to personally negotiate her surrender. Stand by.
Good work, Guardian. This has been a long time coming. Eramis Kell. It's not for me to judge you, but I speak for the people of the last city now. They're demanding justice for all the people you've harmed. Guardians and civilians both. And it's my job to deliver you.
The justice of thieves and oppressors. What hypocrisy. Your blades are covered in the ether of my kin.
Think of the kin you have left. They're aboard the Helm right now, and they need you. You can't abandon them. Besides, if I came back without you, Ida would never forgive me.
If I come quietly, you will guarantee safe harbor for my people?
As long as they disarm and live peacefully with House Light, they'll be safe in the city. You have my word.
I expect the Guardian to enforce that. Now take me to Ido.
So now we have our setup. Fikrul has an echo, is capturing Eliksni alive and using them to create his new army. Just after we capture Eramis, we see a brand new cutscene on the Helm. A rescue catch of Eramis's is seen outside the windows. And as Crow tells Eramis to have them stand down, Fikrul arrives, converts those Eliksni to Scorn, and crashes her catch into the Helm. The Helm then crashes itself on Europa, and part of it is salvaged and taken to the last city.
All hands. This is the Hunter Vanguard. We have a high-value prisoner on board and a House Salvation catch inbound. Prepare for boarding defense. We don't want to fight your rescue team, Eramis. Call them off.
I'm not the one in need of a rescue. Once he finds you. It's too late.
Father, I bring a gift. The power to make all Eliksni our children. Reborn through extinction. Reason I scorn. Fikrul, Kell of Kell.
We've lost steering. We're going down.
I am assuming control of this vessel due to a comprehensive failure of arc conduit systems and my extensive experience with crash landings. Please brace for turbulence as we slam directly into...
Fikrul still believes Aldrin is his father. He offers this gift of the Echo, the gift of rising scorn, and tells Aldrin, now Crow, that they could rule once more together as King Aldrin and Fikrul. He proclaims himself as the Kell of Kells. In the last city in the Market District, Ido introduces us to her tonic shop. Petra and the Awoken records and House of Wolves information have helped Ido gather intel about these tonics used to grant strength and treat some sickness. Nezarec's curse has consumed Mithrax since Season of Plunder, and here in the city he is struggling a bit. Ido needs help to defeat Fikrul's minions and learn more about this dark army to provide more tonics.
So much has happened. I can't believe the Helm is gone. At least we managed to salvage a small section of the ship from Europa. We couldn't leave poor Failsafe alone out there again. We must operate out of the last city for now. And so, welcome to my tonic shop. Petra has been helping me search through old records. Techian research, even materials from the old House of Wolves. I found many references to tonics, elixirs my forebears used to treat sickness or grant strength. This wasn't common medicine. Old Reese was suffused with the light of the Great Machine. Some of these ingredients must have been too. My father is ailing. Nezarec's curse works upon him day by day. But I know there's a solution in here somewhere. I won't give up until I find it. I hope my studies can be of some use to you as well. Whatever new power it is that Fikrul wields, we'll need a way to counteract it. For now, it may be helpful to study the revenants that Fikrul creates. It's unsavory, but we have to start somewhere. I believe my father wants to speak with you. Please, don't let him know that I'm worried for him.
Mithrax is hooked up to a servitor and machine in the hopes he can survive or somehow delay this curse. Through information about Old Reese, Ido seeks a cure. Varix proposes that Eramis knows about Old Reese and she could possibly help us. As Mithrax speaks in this confrontation, we can see the curse and rage begin to take over in certain moments. His voice changes and gets deeper. And in the following cutscene that's explored further, Mithrax explains the past of the Eliksni and the hopes for a future, a new home.
I greet you in the light, Guardian. I regret that you must see me like this. Ido insists that this is slowing the curse, but it is no cure.
Much Eliksni medicine was forgotten. Ido seeks a remedy in secrets of Old Reese.
There are few still living who know the ways of our lost home.
Eramis remembers. Captured by the Guardian this day, she will help.
Her love for the Eliksni is poisoned by her hatred of the Great Machine.
But now she will see wisdom in your path. Yes. Safety with House Light, protected by Guardians.
Safe, but not whole. I thought being near the Great Machine would help reclaim what we lost on Reese. But I look at our hatchlings now, living in the ruins of humanity, building lives from scrap, and I see that we are debased, corrupted, defiled, doomed to meet our final end as scorn.
Trust in Ido. Varix teaches the ways of House Judgment. She will find old solutions to new problems. You will see.
Even after the Traveler fled our sky, and our world was swept away in horror. After our great houses fell to betrayal and futile war, some Eliksni held hope for unity and a future for our people. I do not know how much time remains to me, but if none challenge Fikrul, that dream is lost. Fikrul will condemn Eliksni to decay and ruin. We will be a dead people, rolled over by the dead. My life is for my daughter and my house. Let them see that I still believe the old stories. Old stories tell that when Reese was threatened by dangers no weapon could defeat, the Kells would call upon a Slayer Baron. One possessed of forgotten knowledge, capable of impossible feats. One who can stand against an unrelenting foe. Does that not describe you well, my friend? So much of our history is tale and myth, but the scribe Varix remembers much. But what he cannot recall, Ido will help you uncover. I name you my Slayer Baron, and I beg of you, defend our house, defend our people. Deliver them from this second whirlwind. And when the time comes, deliver them from my curse.
So that cutscene was pretty epic. We see Nezarec loom over Mithrax in the end as he describes the past. In the district, Mithrax names us a Slayer Baron.
Fikrul and his minions continue to hunt down Eliksni across the Soul System. He does not seek to call them under his banner. He will warp their minds, control them. They will kneel, willing or otherwise. Kell of Kells, Slayer, Baron, these are old titles, but our faith in them holds strong. Even those in House Salvation will understand the role you play. Death came for Reese, and none could prevent it, but that does not have to be our future. I will not compel your obedience, Guardian. I beseech you, as kin, join your sword arms to mine. Slayer Baron of House Light, stand against those who would cast us into ruin. Cut down all those who would destroy our house. Carve a future for the living from the bones of the dead.
Varix sees suspicion in the Slayer Baron. Can they trust Varix? Perhaps he still desires to be Kell of Kells, yes? After all, many died to make it so. It is true that Varix wanted power, not for himself, but for all Eliksni, to build a new home filled with peace. But Varix lied to himself and his people. He was misled by darkness, and he lost the way of his house. And many terrors were born of his failure. Now Varix is humbled. He remembers he is not a Kell. He is a scribe. House judgment is not the way of fighting or ruling. It is the way of keeping history, promoting justice, teaching hatchlings. So Verix will train Ido, and together, scribes will undo the many wrongs of Verix the Loyal.
So this is sort of where we stand overall. Fikrul is raising an Eliksni army with the Echo. Mithrax's curse is consuming him, and Ido and Verix work to help and provide a path to fix these issues. Eramis possibly too. She's a prisoner in the city located under this building, and she also has valuable information, but at what cost? Eramis knows some older Eliksni and wants us to track down an apothecary to speed up Ido's research. We head to a Salvation enclave in the Tangled Shore to rescue the people of Eramis, and it's here where we find Fikrul and Crow have an encounter. Fikrul wants to offer his father this power once again, but when Crow denies him, he enrages and a battle breaks out.
I visited Eramis in her cell. We've been talking a little. I think we're making progress. She's been more responsive lately. You've been out there protecting our people. Even she has to admit that much. I mentioned that I've been working with Verix to track down information about tonics. Eramis said she knew a couple of older Eliksni with knowledge of such things. If we could track down an apothecary, it would speed up my research considerably. In the meantime, Eramis also spoke of a Salvation enclave that might need our help. I sent Crow the coordinates. I might have left out the part where Eramis gave them to us. I know, but I think we can trust Eramis to look after the interests of her own people. I'm sure Crow will see that soon enough. Trust me on this? Guardian, your battles against the Revenants to save Eliksni captives from a fate worse than death. It's like one of our old fables. I've learned so much about our lost homeworld lately. About how ether flowed through all the plants and animals there, not just the Eliksni. But for every drop I learn, there's a whole tank full that was forgotten. That's why it's so important that we learn from the few survivors, like Verix and Eramis. I know you and Eramis Kell share animosity, as my father would say. But she's more than a leader, or a fighter, or a criminal. She's a rare link to the secrets of old Reese. I encourage you to put aside the past and let Eramis Kell help us, or we risk making her the last of the Eliksni.
Back again. I never thought I would long for the solitude the prison of elders provided. Instead, I am left to feel like a curiosity, trotted out for all the world to see, to bask in the glow of my spectacular failures, to relish my defeat. One last humiliation. Tell me, Guardian, is this a gratifying sight or a frustrating one? You strike me as someone who appreciates finality. Not so your Hunter Vanguard, it seems. I am grateful for one thing. No Salvation captains share my cell. This remains a private humiliation. Ido claims you will defend both our houses against Fikrul's beasts. So, here it is, Slayer Baron. I know of another Salvation outpost. The Eliksni there cut communications shortly before my incarceration. If any yet live, it seems likely they too are under threat. I once believed anything would be preferable to accepting your assistance. I have Fikrul to thank for illuminating me. I hope to demonstrate my gratitude in person before the end.
This is definitely the place, but it's weirdly quiet out there. Revenant Scorn have been turning up everywhere.
really gotta get a handle on this. If I could just... Wait. Is that...
We are here. We wait for you. Father, we ever serve and await return.
I'm here. I'm back.
Look, I inspire, I avenge for you. Now we rule together. I as Kel, you King Aldren.
Let them go.
Father.
This isn't... You don't have to do any of this. Please.
This is our purpose. Your teachings. To break their servitors, their lies, their trust in light.
I'm the one who lied to you. This is just pointless slaughter, please. You can just stop. You can be more than this. I'll help you.
You are not him. You are a dead thing, like the others. You wear his face. You steal his voice. Forget his purpose.
It wasn't a purpose. It was delusion.
Give him back.
Don't!
Hear me, Father. I will rip this imposter from your bones.
Okay, got it. I'm setting up a transmat site. Get that device over there and we can ditch it in orbit. Explosives taken care of. You did it, Guardian. At least, no one else died today.
Guardian down.
Death is all Fikrul believes in. It's what I taught him to believe in. My faithful acolyte. I thought I could reach him. One more time. Let's go, Guardian. This is only going to get harder from here on out.
Back at the district, we learn about the Eliksni we've rescued. The Scorn now swarm the reef. Varix wants to retrieve some of said prisoners in the reef, and they might be able to help us. Now it very clearly here seems that he's hinting at the prison of elders returning. Fikrul then makes some interesting connections that we are similar, Fikrul and the Guardian. We both come back to life over and over again, and like we killed Fikrul's barons and friends in the past, we now take his father. He's quite angry.
Troubled times, Guardian. You fight well. Every day, new survivors come to Mithrax for protection. But the Scorn come like a tide. They swarm the reef. They build in secret, using the bones of old ruins. Catches full of prisoners vanish into the belt. Useful prisoners, yes. Many who might help us if we retrieve them swiftly. But Varix does not yet know where... Guardian?
Dead thing, Slayer Baron. Why fight for the fallen? You and I know the truth. These old names, these stories. So easy to burn away. But you and I
Around the district, as things wind down for Act 1, you have the option to speak to some of the characters once more. Mithrax talks about the curse and Nezarec, the final god of pain, and Eramis once again from her cell.
Grow restless in these quarters, yet here I must remain. You have our faith, Guardian. Mine, and that of my daughter. I do not know Reese as Eramis does, or as my own mother did. I must concern myself with our new home. Liars. Liars and deceivers, all. The purest light, the darkest hour. The time is at hand, Guardian.
Here to enjoy your victory? I remember when I was a hatchling. I was brought to witness a House of Judgment trial. 2 Eliksni, armed with ceremonial blades. Trial by combat. The shame of defeat lasted only as long as your fleeting life. It was simple. Kind. This? Being left to rot in the filth of my own failure until I am deemed fit to be executed? This is cruelty.
So overall, I enjoyed this act's story. Some people wanted the entire act released at once rather than, 3 weeks and then waiting 5 weeks, so here you go. Personally, I enjoyed it, but it does seem a little out of place in certain moments if you do decide to blow through it. For example, we were just introduced to these new Scorn, and then at the end there when Mithrax was speaking, he said that the Scorn had been ransacking the reef and the shore for days. Which may have been true lore-wise, but it's only been an hour or 2 for me, the player. Those of course are some small nitpicks, but it was my choice to play through it all. We'll see how the next couple of weeks unfold. We may have Festival on the Lost to, get some more activities in there, but personally I kind of would have liked the more weekly schedule. The story though introduces and sets up some interesting narratives between all of the cast. They want to claim their Eliksni home and unity. They're finding ways to both fight Fikrul and race to save Ido's father's life, Mithrax, as well. This of course was a basic overview of the main story. If you'd like to see it more in depth with lore cards and things like that in the next couple of weeks, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Anyway, I thank you very much for watching and I'll catch you all in the next video.